What is up, guys? Welcome back to Shooting the Shit Uncensored. I'm your host, the bald, the beard, the beautiful Piers Austin. And tonight I've got a very special guest joining me this evening. This guy is a podcaster. He's a professional wrestler. He's a media company owner who's doing amazing things with a Hamin Media Group, which we are going to get into, as well as his professional wrestling career. I'm blurring my words. I'm sorry, guys. It is 1 a.m. You're going to have to bear with me. I've been at work all day, but I'm going to get through, and we're going to have an amazing show. But, you know, Ben Hamin is truly a very smart mind for the world of pro wrestling. A lot of the times I've seen his show, The Friday Locker Room, and a lot of stuff that he's saying, sometimes you start seeing on WWE and AEW. Coincidental? I don't know, but we'll make sure to ask him about that. But before I bring Ben out, I just want to say a quick thank you to some of our sponsors. First up is A-Rock Designs. Now, A-Rock Designs is that company you see all over the Facebook groups, the Facebook pages. They make custom cups, hoodies, T-shirts, keychains, tumblers, you name it, they make it. They made me a special CM Punk tumbler, which I'm a huge Punk mark, which, you know, Ben's probably going to make fun of me when he comes on, but I'm still a wrestling fan like everyone else. So next sponsor is Signal Studios. So Signal Studios is a recording studio based in Sydney, Australia. If you're an independent professional wrestler, you need some new entrance music, hit up my boy Rafi at Signal, and he'll hook you up. He can mix, master, produce, and send it out anywhere you are in the world. Or if you're a local musician here in Sydney, you need a place to rehearse, you need a place to jam, a place to just get that creative juices flowing. They have the most comfortable rehearsal space. They'll get you going. But ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'm going to bring him out. I'm actually going to let him introduce himself because I don't think I would be able to do it justice. But ladies and gentlemen, here he is, Ben the Hacker Hamin.
Yo, infidels, that's right. Hacker Hamin back down under, ready to invade. I don't care if it's 1 a.m. You're about to get shaken out of your sleep here on Shooting the Shit Uncensored with these down under Aussie morons, because we go 0 to 100 infidels real quick. And you know there's no trill shit. Here, we're going to talk some real shit. Y'all.
Man, that is one hell of an intro, and I don't think I could have done that justice. Ben, thank you for coming on, man. It's an absolute pleasure to have you on tonight.
Oh, man, good to be back with you guys. Love all the stuff you guys have done with wrestling, with tragedy, and really becoming a part of Russo brand and carving out your own niche. You should be very proud of the work you guys have done, and just to really solidify your spot. And was happy to come back down here, down under on this show, punch out a kangaroo, and throw some boomerangs around. We'll have a good time with it, man.
Absolutely, man. And, you know, you've been very instrumental with Wrestling with Tragedy and helping us, you know, get up to the next stages in the game, man, and it's much appreciated from all of us, brother. But man, getting into it, man, we're just talking backstage, man. Like Hamin Media Group, man, there's a lot going on there, dude. You know, why don't you tell everyone what you got going on at the moment, man?
Let's see. We got all that over there going on. So there's 5 brands we're working on to launch. Just launched Stevie Ray TV, Stevie Ray 10-time tag champion, Harlem Heat sucker. So we're excited to be able to work with, obviously, these talents that are legendary in this business. And Hamin Media Group is a group of independent-minded producers who believe in free media. And that's why our platform, Hacker Hamin, on your iTunes, Spotify, wherever you get it, HACKERHAMIN, is our main platform where you can get wrestling review shows from veteran talent. Stevie Richards, obviously, on there. Strangler Steve on. We have locker rooms on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And Ted McNailer, my Wednesday locker room partner from OVW. The Conspiracy Horseman, which is Big Sal from FBI, Greek God Papadon, legendary independent American worker, big Stevie Richards again, Blue World Order, Right to Censor, and myself. So we have free offerings every day because I do believe in First Amendment, freedom of speech and press. And at this time when we're so corrupted, our channel's quickly becoming one of the last bastions for truth, if you don't mind sifting through the wrestling anger. But then we also have Hamin Media Group for our affiliates, where all of my producers were given a piece there. So I fund that for them to develop their own shows. So we have Star Trek, Star Wars, whiskey review shows, the Suck My Balls podcast, South Park review, you know. So there's a lot going down with extra clips. And then we've also launched our Patreon, where I have my mentor, the hustler Rip Rogers, who has made every star that is a major star in the last 20 years, from Batista to John Cena, Brock Lesnar, Shelton Benjamin. I mean, Bobby Lash. I can run down a list of over 70. So to be able to do Rip's podcast and have that on my Patreon, that is behind the paywall right now as we get Rip's brand launched too for himself. But patreon.com/Hamin Media Group. I'm also teaching marketing lessons. There's tons of extra content, watch alongs, all that stuff, man. So it's nonstop production, usually 6 to 7 days a week, 7 in the morning till 11 at night, with a staff of about 12, 13 of us now, between producers, social media, people, community. We have that's the thing. We have a great community in Discord, Facebook, the live chats and watch alongs, all that stuff going on, where our interactors are playing in pick'em challenges for the, for all the pay-per-views, for UFC. And now we're going to be doing all the sports seasons. So it's just growing exponentially at a massive rate, man. And also working with Russo brand too. So every day brings new opportunity, and I'm trying not to wear myself out, man. But
dude, I'm like, where do you find time to sleep, man? Because like your mind must be going 24/7. Like,
and I usually try and get that 1 hour workout in, whether it's my boxing workout, wrestling training, or heavy weightlifting. Because that's one of the few times I can just shut my mind down, and let things go. And usually that's when new ideas and clarity come to me, when I'm bumping that Wu-Tang in the background and throwing it up there. And, but when I go to sleep at night, my shoulders are killing me because I overlifted and do too much. So I toss and turn a lot. I usually only get, this might be some Vince McMahon shit, pal. I only usually get about 2 to 3 hours of sleep a night. So, but for 20 years, I honed my craft, not just as a performer, but a producer. But I worked in a lot of marketing, biggest Fortune 500 companies in Chicago that are marketing agencies on major brands. I worked at McDonald's corporate headquarters on campaigns there and stuff. So for a lot of years, casinos, I mean, car companies, whatever. I've had a lot of my creative go towards other people's benefit, but I learned all those lessons. And in the last 3 years, I started shaping up HMG to become the boss. I was working a job at a casino racetrack while doing it when we kicked off, and wrestling full time on the weekends anyway. So not full time, I guess, but wrestling as well. And finally that ended, and it was just HMG full time with what I do locally with client management and social media. And that kind of keeps the lights on so we can do the wrestling stuff. But now the wrestling stuff is starting to generate a small profit. And so it's just more work going forward, because we seem to have broken through or turned a corner and have this model of slight sustainability. And I'm hoping that we can grow that like we have everything else. It just takes time and effort. And HMG has the best team in all the wrestling punditry production world, as far as I'm concerned. Guys are doing labor of love stuff, passion projects, and earning a little bit when they can here and there. And it's only getting more and more rapid.
Oh, absolutely. And, you can always see the effort that you guys go into it. Like, that you guys are all like, when you're discussing wrestling, for example, it's not just like, there's other shows that do wrestling review shows and stuff like that. But the way that you guys break it down, like, Ted McNeil, guys like Puppet On, Stevie, yourself, it breaks it down on a more intellectual level. And, for me, I've always been a wrestling fan. I've never been in the business and never claimed to be. But for me, it's like, you probably classify me as a smart, I suppose.
That's what I was, bro. Even when I was in Chicago, 2004, 2005, when I thought I was smart to everything. Until I packed up and went to OVW to know that I didn't know shit. And that Rip broke me down and dropped me from the ground up again, man. So.
Well, that was the thing. It was like, for me, when I started watching that's when I started to really understand more and more deeper into the world of pro wrestling. And I think that pro wrestling fans should definitely tune in and watch some of the stuff that Hamin Media are doing, especially on those review shows, because what you guys are calling and predicting, it's on a different level to anyone else, man.
I appreciate that, but that is the difference between HMG and Russo brand and everybody else. Well, K100 is about the only other one. And, you know, you obviously work with Angel, who's an ECW legend, the Baldies, nonstop. So you're going to get a real worker's perspective. So you're getting an education just sitting under his learning tree that a normal smart fan wouldn't get. So your acumen is transcended that. Now, you're probably the smarter one because you're not in the ring falling on your ass, crushing your spine. So, you know, like there's that. But, you know, the reason HMG and Russo brand thrives over everybody else, and K100, put them over again, is because they're fan interaction, but you're hearing the opinions not from guys who think they know what it is. They lived it 10 times over, and they've you know, so where else are you going to go get those opinions? And then the hosts that we have know that they're getting the education that I paid Rip $5,000-$6,000 for. You know, you pay for your educations, and then if you don't go out and apply it and earn that money back, well, then that's on you. But you know, they're getting that for free, not for free for their labor. You know what I mean? And all of my producers kind of started as smart marks. And now 4 or 5 of them have leveled up their life. MSG, you watched him go back to school, become for production, become a local TV affiliate producer, and taking care of the channels where he was in the Northwest. Packed up his life and moved to Denver for an even bigger gig. Now he's doing that full time and running HMG, producing shows, hosting shows, and he's taken under Stevie Ray's brand. Now he has an opportunity to help foster a great talent and make some money himself. That's what it takes. And you hear that song, My Sacrifice, right? Man. That's what it takes. 3-4 years of that road to get to where you want to even start going, to be honest with you. And once you can turn that corner, who knows where we're going next, man. It's great times.
Oh, 100%, man. And, you know, when you started in wrestling, because you've been in the business 20 years, you were saying, and like when you first went down there and started training with Rip, like Rip Rogers is, you know, legendary. And, you know, you listed off some of the names that has, you know, learned under his learning tree.
Prime Time, Serena Deeb. I can keep throwing them out all day.
Dude, like Hall of Famers and future Hall of Famers, like, you know, to put it in WWE, like fan terms. But, you know, what was it like, you know, first meeting Rip and sort of him putting you through the paces? You know, did you feel like you had the respect for the business at that stage, or were you like going, you know, I can sort of get in there and do this?
No, because that's kind of what's in my DNA. My dad is I say this a lot, chop wood, carry water guy. So I'm not going to point at a ditch and tell somebody to get down there and dig if I'm not going to jump in there and dig with them. So it's important to me to show that even if I suck and I'm not the athlete that some of these guys are, obviously, but I'm great at character, you know, and I've been wrestling for 14 years. I've been performing as a song and dance man and an improviser and a professional comedian since that was 6 years in Chicago before I moved to OVW and did 14 years in wrestling. Before that, age 12, I grew up in the vaudeville theater, like this huge theater, and did every song and dance man thing that you could imagine. So I've been performing nonstop since I was 12 years old. So 31 years.
Wow, man. And do you think it was the theatrics of pro wrestling that drew you to that?
Oh, well, my dad was a state champion super heavyweight wrestler in college and got recruited in college or in high school and got recruited in college for wrestling before he went into being a professional lumberjack. So I always grew up around these guys that are larger than life lumberjack dudes. And then people in my hometown, because my dad went undefeated for 3 years till he lost in the state finals. And you see my dad in high school and he looks like he's 40 compared to like he looks older than the coaches. He grew up on a farm and they used to pick rocks like for 25 cents a day, and his hands and grip strength are just insane. No high schooler could fuck with him at that time. He had of course. Yeah. So guys would come up to me like when I was 6, 7 years old and be like, dude, your dad used to fucking destroy guys in wrestling. Now this is 83. Yeah. And I'm watching TV and it's Hogan Andre, right? And I'm growing up in the lumberjack circuit, the pro lumberjack circuit. Yeah. And And I see all these guys around me that look just as big as all the guys on TV. And my dad's a massive man, and they all treat him like a champ. So I was hooked off that. Now my dad sees that shit and he's like, that's not fucking wrestling. That's phony bullshit. But you're a 6-year-old kid, you know? So my mom made him take me to Saturday Night Main Event when I was 8 years old. Hogan versus Killer Khan in the main event. Andre comes down and stops right next to my dad. Andre's wearing this big lime green seersucker suit, almost this color of this right here. And it was so bad, but my dad was a giant man to an 8-year-old anyway. And Andre stopped and stood right next to him. And that froze me in time right there. I still have that memory very vividly in my mind. And since that day at 8 years old, I haven't missed a week of wrestling in my lifetime.
Dude, it's an addiction, man. Like you're either a fan of pro wrestling and you watch it religiously, or you're like not a fan of it. There's no one who goes, oh yeah, let's put on wrestling today, see what's happening. You know what I mean? Like you're either into it or not. And I think once you're a fan for life. You know? Yeah,
well, it's an abusive relationship these last decades. That's for sure. I'm here to tell you to stay in it and have the knowledge I do now and see, you know, things happen on TV that are just so wrong and egregiously wrong for the wrong reasons, putting Lana through a table for 9 weeks and trying to come up with a story that it's going to get her over, and then they just sideline her, or what they did with Mickey. And these are just recent ones, you know. It kills me. I heard what you said off air too about when I was in the green room, about things we say on Russo brand in the locker rooms, and you'll see them on TV. We do a lot of black market creative because even people inside their own companies don't trust them, and they give them ideas that are horrible, and they're terrified that they're going to be on TV doing something. So they come to us. We lay out gold for them. It gets kicked back up the ladder without them knowing where it's coming from, because these are the people we care about. And we just want to see the wrestling business grow and succeed and go back, because we make our money off it. The health of the business directly impacts what I'm doing at HMG. But there's a lot of my friends who have spots that I don't, but that doesn't mean I'm going to not help them if I have the chance to see them shine, because when they succeed, I feel like I'm succeeding, and that gets us all one step closer. But usually I think I've had like 14 or 15 ideas on different TV shows now, and 90% of the time they get bastardized, and only 20% of it like it's done in a way that just because they don't think like I do, and they don't execute the way I would as a producer. But I'm on the outside looking in when it comes to that, and until I have the spot to be like, no, this is exactly how it's going to go, and to be in Activision, then things won't change. And I'm just going to keep trying to help the people who want it and need it and are passionate about success. Yeah.
If WWE came to you today and said, Ben, we want you on our writing team, booking team, creative, whatever you want to call it,
sure,
would that be something that you would dive straight in on?
Yeah, I applied right before Christmas. You know, again, I had stopped applying for like a year or two on some things, and but now my number is, I look at myself, and this is going to sound way cocky, but you're going to pay for a franchise player. They could have had me at cheap 10 years ago. I interviewed at Stanford for 2 days in 2008, and then Freddie Prinze Jr. got the spot the next day.
Makes sense.
Yeah, well, I mean, he does have the Hollywood connections. I was still in OVW writing TV. So I can see why they would have done it. But now 12 years later, after I've been blackballed, battled the machine, I influence their TV show every week through their own roster, you know. When I apply, I put a price of $600,000, and to be honest with you, it's $700,000 now. And if they're making $462 million this year from USA Network off of that piece of shit that they put out on Monday, it might be $1 million, and that's them getting off cheap, because what they'll get for $1 million from me would be well worth to back the other $461 million that they're stealing at this point, in my opinion.
Oh, dude, like it's, you know, what they're putting out there at the moment, it's hard to watch. Like I put on Raw to watch on Hulu the other night when I got home from work.
Peter.
and I literally fell asleep 20 minutes into it. It was just so brutal. Like Randy Orton's promo to Mark Henry was just like the most uncomfortable thing that I'd ever seen.
That was one of the only things I liked, but then they blew that. I mean, I've recounted how they fucked this Raw up 10 times over, and you can check it out on Russo brand or the locker rooms on Hamin Media Group. But yeah, it's I'm there, not on the Hulu recap. I'm there for every bitter minute to like write down time codes, to write down each line. Why is this choice made? Because Russo pays me to, but also that's the critical eye, how I watch not just wrestling, bro. I mean, for my wives are like, we hate watching movies.
I love that, my wives.
My wives are like, we hate watching movies because even after I leave and shit, now they went from kind of like watching things as a mark to now I'm just a critical media analytical mind when it comes to breaking down symbolism, line for line, choices, story driver, character arc, hero's journey, heat on heels, like how they do everything. Like that's all going through my mind that fast. And it's tough when something can pop me. That's when I'm really like, wow, this is good, because I'm trying to play at Sopranos, Boardwalk Empire, Breaking Bad level all the time. You know what I mean? And when I have to go back to somebody's crapping in their hands and using it as finger paint, like, that's the equivalent of what WWE is doing with some of my suggestions. I see Christy Black Adams in the chat. If you're still there, she says, I'm worn out just listening to how much you do. Credit to you, dude. Well, I think I wore myself out running my mouth already this morning, but thank you, Christy, for tuning in. No one's gonna give you anything in this world, and it takes a long time to learn that. And once you are the master of your own domain and you have the ownership of it, like a Joe Rogan, and you build a library, is what I'm hoping to do, to get to a certain point. You got to carve that out with labor of love, and then hopefully you reap the rewards from it one day. But even if it doesn't come in a monetary way or pat on the back, the fact that I know that I've helped people through tough times in multiple countries, I get these messages every day, and I'm not even thinking about it when they come in, is to say, you got me through this tough time when I was really depressed, or I'm laughing my ass off and you almost made me crash my fucking 18-wheeler as I'm driving down the highway. You don't realize in so many countries with podcasting how many people's lives you're influencing or inspiring. And I get those messages, and those are humbling. But even on my own staff, just to see people that I care about have a purpose, does it really matter at the end of the day if you get the accolades of everybody praise me as one of the greatest wrestling minds? I don't really need that. Would I like that for ego and paychecks? Sure, but
who wouldn't?
Yeah, if I left behind tomorrow what we've done, I feel satisfied in the work we've done, that I've done in my time here. So that's what I'm trying to do, is just rising tide raises all ships, and sometimes you got to be the captain. I think it's just in my DNA from my father being a leader. He's kind of the Vince McMahon of the pro lumberjacking world. He runs the biggest show, 46,000 people show up, all the people you see on TV and from all over Australia, New Zealander choppers. Dude, New Zealand and Australia wood choppers, if you don't know, are the best choppers in timber sports, man. I'm here to tell you right now. So
we have the Easter show here in Sydney, and not pre-COVID, obviously. And that's the thing. Like, part of the Easter show is going and seeing the wood choppers and these guys just start hacking these massive fucking logs. It's insane, dude.
So I've run that show with my dad I was pretty much born there, and I've done every job that there is there, from garbage collection to being head judge. So and my dad was also the fire chief in my hometown for like 14 years. So I only know how to be a leader, you know what I mean, from the examples I've seen. So it's just kind of natural fit for me, bro.
Bro, your dad sounds like the most ultimate alpha male in the fucking world, bro. Like,
he doesn't understand this shit at all, bro. At all. He does it all. Carpentry. I mean, it's get out of bed, put your boots on, go to work, do everything you gotta do, come home, take your boots off, get in bed, do it again the next day, and don't bitch about it.
What did your old man think when you said, "Hey, I'm going to go and I'm going to train in professional wrestling and become a professional wrestler"?
You know, he probably was a little happier than, hey, Dad, I'm a professional improviser and comedian in Chicago. Hey, Dad, I'm, you know, this, that, or the other. So he's always dealt with me being, you know, more of a personality and flamboyant than how he is of a, you know, just straight laced dude. But what was tough for him, because the other side of my family is very political based. My aunt was a speechwriter for Nixon, and my grandmother was one of the first female legislators in New York. And
oh shit,
so that's in my DNA too. So when 9/11 happened, I was using my comedy along with one of my good friends, name drop here is Nice Peter from Epic Rap Battles of History. We came up through college together, so we were doing comedy rock in Chicago while training at Second City and Improv Olympic every night, just being, you know, young artists doing crazy stuff. So yeah, you're lagging or whatever. A lag is so, you know, we were doing anti-George Bush stuff, and then kind of in that 2004 2005 is when I started going to OVW, and there was two other Middle Eastern descent guys there. Ali Vaez, who is Iranian, but his parents moved here, and he speaks with a complete Kentucky accent. So he's like, "Hey, man."
Oh, that would be so weird to look at.
So he lives in Australia actually right now.
Oh, really?
You could probably go to if there were indies running, but Muhammad Ali Vaez, man, and a super intelligent dude, and he went to West Point, man. So like this guy is know, up here intelligence wise, but you can't have the Bin Laden figure on camera going, "Hey man, what y'all think you're doing over here, man?" So, the other guy we had was Khalil Gaspard, so they called him Omar and Ali, the Akbars, and Rip pointed at me. I had the short period of time, and he knows I can do any character. He goes, "You're going to be their manager, you're going to be the Packies, and you're going to fucking be the top heels here." So you know, I just took my real name Benjamin and separated it, and Bin Laden was there, so Bin Hamin. Was born, and every day on Fox News they would just say insurgency, insurgency, insurgency. Guess what? We're the insurgency. So wow. Yeah, man. So we let a lot of people get their PTSD out from 9/11 and the wars and George Bush jacking up gas prices to $4.25. We started, gas was at like $2.20 a gallon, and by the end of our run it was $4.75. Bro, there's sometimes we would get run out of, like they in the South, in those southern small racist towns, it would get real hot real quick when gas was about $3.50 a gallon, bro. But we're fucking hot, bro. So
anyone try and like stab you or some crazy shit?
Yes, plenty of times. I told this story a couple times. We were in Campbellsville, Kentucky, taking on Los Locos. So kind of funny how the Mexicans that were the heels for
the Arabs.
Right, like you're in all white bread backwoods Kentucky, and they're cheering for the Mexicans to kick the Arabs' ass. There's no fucking Confederate flags on every truck, right? And we were in an armory actually, so it's a military thing, and like, you know, here comes the insurgency, middle of the war, in the fucking armory, you know. And there was this guy, and he was a first Gulf War vet, 1990s, right? Small guy, 5'7", 5'8", whatever, and hammered with him and his buddy. "Fuck you, Sam, you camel fuckers," you know, like the whole nine. Yeah. In the armory, he feels comfortable. That's his. He probably worked there, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm starting to detract from the match on the outside as the manager, and all Ali has to do is look at me and go, "What the fuck are you doing?" He doesn't have to say nothing. And I'm like, whoop, I'm going down here, so I'm not pulling all the heat, right? You know what I mean? It's taking the bumps. So all of a sudden, I got a suit on, my head gimmick, and the flag, and my suit gets grabbed and my flag gets grabbed. I start getting pulled back into the crowd, and I turn. There's a group of about 4 or 5 teenagers there, 15 to 16-year-olds, and one kid is there. He's got a hat on, glasses, and, you know, teenage kid. So I fucking swing, and I just tipped the brim of his hat, and it looked like I crushed him. I just touched his hat goes flying, and like he sells, his glasses go flying. Like he was so scared that I swung on him.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So people thought I fucking drilled this kid based on he probably had the best sell on the show.
And they probably got you the instant heel heat you were wanting as well.
Well, it got crazy, bro. In come the fucking sodas. People are spitting sodas. You motherfucker. He hit that kid. He hit that fucking kid. People are screaming. And like Ali and Los Locos look over at me like, what the fuck is going on? Do we need to run out? And I get close to the ring and I go, take it home. Or actually it was Lowrider from Los Locos. Pops were taking it home. Fucking boom, boom, boom. Arabs get beat real quick. They didn't give a fuck about the finish, dude. They could. So Ali's like, what's going on? I'm like, dude, they try to pull me in the crowd. He's like, all right, let's get the fuck out of here then. So he went from mad at me to like, let's not get lynched. And so we go to the back, and all of a sudden that fucking first dude comes around the corner, and he's like, motherfucker, you hit my kid. I'll fucking kill you. Of course, that kid was that crazy drunk fucker's son. And he's trying to prove to his dad that I'll get this fucking, you know, dude, because I'm sure at home he's hearing all kinds of shit from the news and this guy's PTSD is triggered, right?
Yeah.
Guy whips out a fucking spider cone knife. I'm like, and we're about 30 yards away from each other at the opposite ends of a hallway. And there's one security guy. He's like, dudes, don't do nothing stupid. We go in the locker room and fucking Debo, who's with the Grape Drink Connections there, which is Rough Rider, Rashawn and Debo. And then Von Lilas, who's 6'8" and chops harder than anybody in the business. They're like, fuck that, Briz. They walk out. And Debo's like, come on, motherfucker. You want to fucking go? And like, you see this walk, like from the white guy who had been kicking Arab's ass and he had no fear, instantly terrified of giant black men like that, bro. Just like the exact opposite. So while they're standing there like a human shield, there's the door right behind them. In the armory, it's like a big U driveway, right? So we were parked on the opposite side, right where that door was, because we were smart enough to do that. And we go out the door, throw our shit in the car where you don't even change, you know. And as we're getting to the end of the driveway, here come 3 fucking cop cars ripping in, bro, ripping in on the other side of the fucking thing, and they don't block us off from leaving. Whoop, we get the fuck out of there and go. The cops stop the show from the main event, and they want to see the tape. And you can see clear as day the fucking kid grab me, pull me in, and all that shit. And it was Amish Roadkill from ECW. He was the booker at the time for the road shows. And even the cops were cool. You'd think they were on the payroll, you know, in these small towns or whatever. But fucking they actually put heat on the fucking dude and the fucking kids. They were threatening to arrest them. And Roadkill said, you guys were good. He calls on the little flip Motorola Razor phone. You guys, man, you don't got to come back. Just keep going. I got this. So that was a crazy situation, because when you're going into that town, Campbellsville, Kentucky, there's a big fucking somebody's house or barn, and the whole fucking side of it is painted with a Confederate flag, dude. You know where you are. You are in some KKK territory. And when you're fighting the Mexicans and you're the Arabs, bro, shit can get 0 to 100 real quick. Real fucking quick.
Bro, you know what? It reminds me, because like probably back in like the early 2000s, a buddy of mine at the time used to wrestle here in Australia, and he was, you know, one of the top guys for this promotion here. And his gimmick was like he was Iranian, so he came out with like military gear on, waving the Iranian flag. This is like 2000 to 2001. So, you know what I mean? And he would come out and cut promos in Persian and shit like that. And I was sitting with his brother-in-law once, who just started cracking up. I'm like, what did he say? And he's like, bro, I can't even translate that shit in English. It's that fucking vile. He's like, you know, basically like, fuck you, infidel, fucking scumbag, cocksucker. I'm like, dude, shit, there's kids next to you. He's like, I know. But yeah,
all that shit, man. It's there to get their PTSD out. If the news and the media are going to drive you one way, why wouldn't I be the living embodiment of it, so you can get something out? Hopefully not at the expense of my life, but that's one of probably about half a dozen like close calls, but that one was pretty insane. I've never really been grabbed and pulled into the crowd by a couple people and then had to go for it. And when I turn around, I was ready to lay somebody out, and I see it's a 15-year-old kid, you know.
It's just like a backhander at that stage. It's like, get the fuck out of here.
I barely grazed the tip of his hat. He did it all himself when he fucking went back like that, man. It was great.
Man, you should have booked him for a match the following week. You know what I mean?
Pay it off, get heat on the kid or have his dad in the corner or something, but whatever. I mean, that guy was half in the bag. You could smell the booze all over him when we were getting into it. A lot of times I get a lot of Vietnam vets who are like older men, really a lot older men now, obviously, of that generation in their 60s and 70s who just fucking lose it, bro. They want to try and get one little word in on me, and I'm a professional improviser. So that's what I do is I engage, and they might get an O on me, but I'll come back over the top. I got 70 lines I can lay on them. And then that pops the crowd, and then they get up and get mad and give me the old crooked finger, fucking fuck you. It's always like an old hook, fucking fuck you. It makes me laugh almost. But then it gets serious, and I insult them and say something about America that's very vile, and then everybody fucking hates me because it went from a joke to, all right, you took it too far, and that's where I want to be. I want to be a bridge too far. Yeah. And then you have to catch up to me. So either my heat means more when we go over and I can say crooked finger, fuck you back, or when we get pinned and lose, the roof blows off the place. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of tricks to it, man.
100%, man. I actually heard a story about MJF when he was in the Indies that he went to a promoter and said, hey, I've got this idea. I want to come out to the ring and I want to take a shit on the American flag. And the guy was like, you want to talk shit about the American flag? He's like, no, I want to come out, pull my pants down, and literally shit on the American flag in the middle of the ring to get heat. And the promoter was like, no.
Well, here's one that Dynasty, then actually Chris Envy, it was his idea to do it and not mine. I was like, I don't know, but it's far enough away. It was far enough away. It was probably 2016. I was working Spirit Squad and a couple other matches I did this on. But beginning of the show opens with the national anthem. You know, so everybody's on their feet, you know, and halfway through, bro, the bombs bursting in air. We got Akbar. They cut the national anthem, and here comes Islamic call to prayer, followed by my entrance music, bro, on top of it that you can hear in every episode. But so to cut the national anthem while Americans have their hands over their heart for call to Islamic prayer, and then I come out, it got hot a couple times. I'm here to tell you. Usually I wait till I get to the ring for my entrance, but before I even walk through the curtain with the ISIS flag, bro, like people are like,
you actually come with an ISIS flag. That's the ring.
Yeah, I have my own. Well, I separated the Arabic letters on it, but it says Infidel Crusher on it, and it's got my face on it. It's all in black and white.
That's crazy, man. But I've seen the image actually. Yeah, black and white
every entrance I do ever, even since OVW, is we used to come out just a straight call to Islamic prayer, and then actually Rick Victor from the Ascension, he's a huge Danzig fan. He's like, Pops, I think this music would be great for you. And so I took Fire Mass and in the beginning of the call to Islamic prayer, like the first 8 seconds, put them together. And when Danzig drops, it's super heel sound. So they to that first part. And then, so I always put the flag through the curtain. Doesn't matter if I had the Iraqi flag, Iranian, I've always done this. And I raise it. So everyone has to do it so they know I'm coming. And then once it drops, I come through. And I don't know, the timing just has always worked. But man, when you interrupt the American national, I don't think Iron Sheik did that. I don't think Nikolai Volkov did that.
Oh, dude, I don't think they did either, man. Not for memory. But Daniel Price has got saying Danzig is great, but he can't fight for shit.
He said Muhammad Hassan got nuclear heat and didn't even go that far. Well, I had wanted for years to face him, and we're only 40 minutes apart, Mark and I was in it's what really motivated me to get in better shape with Stevie Richards, because I saw how I looked in that match after being on the shelf for kind of a year, and I had put on like 60, 70 pounds just looking like shit. I could still wrestle and do creative. Yeah. But dude, Muhammad Hassan is in ring shape now. Like, he runs 10 miles a day. His body's incredible. But I got to face him in 3 matches, because people would always be like, you just think you're Muhammad Hassan. You think you're the Iron Sheik. You think you're like, dude, there's more than one Arab guy in the fucking world.
Exactly, bro.
Like, so I always wanted to do, if you remember before 9/11, where they said was it Jordan, I believe, that there was a terrorist summit where they put together the plans for 9/11, even though 9/11 is a complete deep state op, CIA, fucking whatever, that they said that happened. I always wanted to do this where it was me pushing out Iron Sheik in a wheelchair, Muhammad Hassan there, my insurgency there, the Almighty Sheik, who's a great representation of it, NWA champ. He's been in New Japan. A lot of respect for all, because instead of guys going, oh, he's trying to do the Sheik, dude, bring Sabu, bring them all out here. Let us have a fucking Arab terror
100%.
And then everybody go their separate way. But we're all part of this. You want to talk about a real Bullet Club? How about a fucking
Arab club,
playing club, bro? So I never really that was one thing I really wanted to do, and it could happen. Sheik's still alive, but I wanted him to pass the torch to all of us, and all of us to be brothers, inshallah, and to be able to do that. I haven't been able to pull that off, but I did get to do with Muhammad Hassan and I. And then he was the baby face. So people who hated Hassan for everything, when he fought me, my heat was now, and he, with his body, like you look at him, he looks like he's carved out of stone. Yeah. He was instantly the baby, bro. So I got to put a little of that to rest now that both of us were in the ring together. And dude, he fucking beat the shit out of me because he hadn't been in the ring in 10 years. Like the first point, he opens hot and punches, dude, he punched me in the face so hard. Like the first two, like I was rocking and reeling, going back to the corner. Third one was there. 4 and 5, he just fucking cranked me in the face, full, bare knuckle. And he's like, oh, I'm so sorry, bro. And I pushed him off, and I fucking gave him the Haku thumb in the neck. And I drew blood. I wasn't hot, but I was just like, you want it like this? Fucking whack. And you seen his eyes light up like, oh shit, I better lighten up real fast. Like that was just him not being in the ring. That wasn't him really trying to hurt me and having that adrenaline. He hadn't thrown a working punch in 10 years, and he didn't throw any that night either. So.
Dude, but you know what? Like his career, like how it just sort of came to a shattering halt. Like he just stopped. Like, and you know what? Like he lost his job because he was that good at it. You know what I mean? Like,
man, and he did go away, and he was a school administrator for the last decade and a half. Really, he went teacher to school administrator. Now he's a principal, and they tell him that he can't even do podcasts or work a show. Like that's how even now, bro, 20 years later, they fucking still will not let him, like, for fear of reprisal from some stupid ass parents and shit like that. But he's got a beautiful wife and a beautiful family, and now he's a top guy in that administration. So he's really got a great career, where a lot of wrestlers struggle when they leave. This guy has a brilliant mind, a leader in his community, and he's got a great life. So I'm happy for Mark Muhammad Hassan, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, because I think it was like I saw recently he was starting to get back in the ring, and I was like, man, that was like a blast from the past, that name, like hearing it again, because it's like, when it's like a name just disappears. And I like looking back at some of his stuff, man. He was such, like I said, very good at what he did in the ring. A little too good that it cost him the job, unfortunately. But
you know who else did the gimmick at OVW or right after him and at the same time, kind of, is Armando Estrada.
Yeah. Well, they made him more of like a Colombian, though, didn't they?
Well, that was on WWE TV. At OVW, he was doing the full Sheik gimmick like me. So I just saw Daniel Price, an avid listener of everything we do across all platforms. Appreciate you, DP. But he says the irony of the whole thing is the guy's Italian. Well, here's your straight shooting. There's no Arab blood here either, man. I'm almost 100% German character actor, so it doesn't matter, man. If you're gonna go the extra mile, like, what is it? I can't put on tanner. Am I wearing blackface if I'm trying to do a cultural appropriation? I love all of these arguments.
Yeah.
Tell me why I'm not allowed to do this type of shit, and I'll have 50 counter answers. Or hypocrisy points of view to do that, you know, but I love that he was that he was really a full-blooded Italian Marco Pani playing Arab and Israel, and the fact that I'd throw on some bronzer or tan and do whatever I need to do. And I can play Latino, I can play, you know, whatever, I can play a Viking, you know, like there's a lot of things. It's what you believe, and the work can handle anything. So if I'm presenting a character that's believable enough, I've done my job.
Oh, 100%. And, you know, as far as the world of wrestling, though, you know, you've had a chance to wrestle some pretty big names in the business. Who would you say has been probably the most impactful one in your career that you've wrestled, who really sort of taught you a lot about the business?
Well, I mean, the guys who've taught me a lot about the business aren't usually the ones I get to wrestle that much. Probably one of my best matches is with Mike Mondo, and that's a guy who's wrestling mind and is a Rip Rogers guy, Dr. Tom guy, Al Snow guy. Like, he's just a wrestling machine, bro. And Mondo can always punch up my matches, and I go to him whenever I can to be like, what should I do? Sheiky, here's what you should do here. Or he'll watch me like, you got to stop right there and yell I'm Sheik. You know, so when it comes to Mike Mondo is one of my favorite guys to go for big brother wise. And obviously Stevie Richards is my right hand man. And I can always go to him for that next level of like how to play the game. And I'm so thankful to have all these guys, you know, on my side, and Vince Russo too. I mean, where else am I going to go for the information of how should I play this, bro? You know, like I'm very lucky to have these consiglieres around me and to be one as a soldier and a leader. Because over at Russo brand, I'm not the leader. My name's not on the door. I'm a soldier, so I have to humble myself in some things, and other times I have to be the top guy on my brand. So I like that going back and forth, but biggest guys to influence me and really make my career kind of happen. Well, it's happened in almost everywhere I've gone, actually. But 2CW, when I got to work with Hacksaw Jim Duggan probably half a dozen times, and I've opened for him doing stand-up 2 or 3 times. We've really been able to have some fun moments together. Roddy Piper, I was on the last Piper's Pit on an indie show, and that was probably the highlight of my career. Tracy Smothers, who I beat in the dance off as well. Tracy Smothers, great times for my character to be able to facilitate these legends who can't work like they used to, but they don't have to, because we got them on a USA chant and me reacting, you know what I mean? So
exactly.
Yeah. But when it comes time to wrestle, you know, to get to Muhammad Hassan, the Spirit Squad, to tag with Congo Kong and tag with GGP has been phenomenal. You know, working Cody Deaner is another great guy to work, and I really like the way he puts his stuff together and how seriously he takes the business without going step by step by step. Cody Deaner, I got a lot of respect for a lot of those guys in Canada and the way they work, man.
Oh man, Cody Deaner is just one guy who, like, his character that he had when he came in, being like ODB's like side piece, to now being like, you know what I mean, established performer. You know what I mean? Like, he's just been able to change and like keep the same character, but just evolve it.
Not this week, he evolved into what they're trying to do with Sanity with Eric Young that they didn't get to do in NXT. And he's plugged in Cody Deaner, and he's got a new big bodyguard who is like a Magnum TA type guy, Joe Doring, I believe. And they're all getting in shape. Dude, Deaner, as great a shape as he was in, he's lost another 15 pounds to lean out. He shaved his head, and now he's doing that level of acting this past week when it was his new re-debut. It is on some Sons of Anarchy level stuff, bro. And he just outshines everybody with his dedication to character and saying, you're going to give me this much. Well, I'm going to make this much out of it. You know what I mean? And he is excellent at that. And nobody kicks out of the Deaner DDT. And if you want to double down on the Carney side, nobody sells more merch than Deaner at the indie shows, because the guy is a straight up hustler, B. And so he, on all aspects of being a worker, gets it, in my opinion, dude. Those are the guys that I want to go to and be, hey man, how should I punch this up? What am I missing? So I don't think that, hey, my mind's up here. I can get humbled real quick by going to a Mondo or a Deaner and asking for their opinion on something, because what they'll do is what I like from Wu-Tang. Jizzer said, make your rhymes half short, twice strong. And I'd rather take shit out of my match and focus on one thing that's going to get over instead of let me do this and this and this. And we forget shit. And then the other things weren't working. Let's take out 3 things and focus on 1 or 2. And how can we expand those on a Garvin stomp? This is Mondo will tell me. So I'm going to do a Garvin stomp on somebody. Bah, yeah. But in between each one, boom, Mondo goes, now Sheik, do ya Allah. Ya Allah. Now go around, hit him again. Wah. Yeah. By the time I get to the 4th one, the crowd's fucking hating it. For the 5th one, boom, you know what I mean? Now when his comeback means more because I've done the taunt in between on just the Garvin stomp instead of just going around and doing each body part. It's small things like that, bro.
Yeah, it's small things like on the psychology side of things to really get the crowd more invested, give that more sympathy to the babyface. And as you said, when the babyface does the comeback, the crowd, the bigger the pop from the crowd.
And I'm not going to be blown up because I didn't have to run around the ring and do 60 things as an unathletic fat Popsy, you big unathletic fat bastard. Just do some fucking character. You know, so why not take my time to get character? And Mondo's great at where to put that in there. So, you know, I got a lot of big brothers, even if they're littler than me in this business, who I can go to. And they all have great ideas.
That's the thing, man. It's, you know, for one thing that I've learned from Wrestling with Tragedy and doing stuff with you and doing episodes with you guys, you know, the world of pro wrestling, there's not many people you can trust and rely on that can, you know, steer you down the right path, so to speak. So when you find good people like you obviously have, you stick close to them, man.
The best will always find each other, bro.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. Well, as I always say, man, real always recognizes real. So
yeah. I mean, if you're not going to get in that trench and dig with me, it's going to be a parent who is ready to do the real hard work and who isn't. And there's rewards at the end of the day. You know, are you going to be in there for it to reap them? Or are you going to act like you want to be over with the crew, but not really chop wood, carry water the way it needs to be done?
Yeah, man, you're 100% right, dude. And, you know, it's always, you know, if you're going to be part of a team, it's a team effort. You all get in there and you lift and build and drive together. You know what I mean? That's the way you get something successful. So, but ladies and gentlemen, we are approaching that 1 hour mark. So it is that time for Guess the Australian Slang Game, or Guess the Aussie Slang, whatever you want to say. But Ben has been warned or prepped about this game. So Ben, how it works is I'm going to give you an Aussie slang word. I'll put it in a sentence for you as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do it as a most monotone voice as I can. And you got to tell me what the slang word means.
All right. I will. I also popped in the beginning when you called him CM cunt. I thought that was good.
Yeah. Thanks for that, man.
That's what I call it too.
CM gun, yeah. Well, I am a huge fan of CM Punk, but yeah, like
hang out with him.
He has got a reputation of being a CM cunt. I've heard.
Yeah. Before, I mean, we can go into that after the Australia if you want to do a little wrap up, but you know,
we can go into it now. We can do it this way.
Experiences with him, so.
Dude, you know, you're not the first one, man. Like I've heard like stories from like the indies and stuff. Like I saw an interview with Teddy Hart where Teddy Hart was talking about him like wanting to come and fight Teddy about something that happened 10 years prior or something like that. And he's like, why you want to fight me, dude? You weren't even there. Like, like, you know what I mean? Like, and Teddy Hart was like, oh, this guy's acting like I fucked his wife or something. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I would love it if you would come step to me like that. But, you know, Punk was always cool with me because I was kind of in the over kids crowd or whatever. So he wouldn't pick me as a target. Plus I'm, you know, twice his size. But and so when it was time to go out to dinner or whatever, Cody and those guys would invite out guys who were, you know, didn't have the money and were the up and comers, and Punk and Joey Mercury and Cody would pick up the tab for like 20, 30 people, man. And you know, that's when he was on top though. So I give him props and respect for that, but I've also seen him treat people and who had no reason to be treated like that, just like a total piece of shit. And I wasn't over at the time. And if I was how I am now, I would have fucking put him in a fucking garbage can in front of everybody. And there's nothing he could have done about it. So I've seen him do some shit that turns my stomach. And there's other times where he does great things where, you know, if he's donating his money from Pro Wrestling Tees to Brody Lee's family, that's like, hey, if I judge him by his actions, then that's a fucking good thing to do as a man. And we all have our shortcomings, but if there's one guy I wouldn't mind getting in the cage with for a shoot fight, he'd be he'd be one of the top workers. There's no doubt about that.
Oh, dude, his UFC fights, like, you know, like you know what I mean? Like when I saw that he signed with UFC, and then I was just like, and I saw like the promo that he did, and I'm just like, oh, you're gonna get fucking murked. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what background have you had? Nothing.
It's not even that, bro. It's what you're made of, right? I didn't. Maybe you can train be lethal. I'm not trying to fucking say that at all. You can learn and be a killer, but the guy is a emo Chicago SJW comic book warrior turned wrestler. I am the son of a state champion wrestler, lumberjack, chop wood, carry water hunter with natural DNA, brute strength. Who do you think's going over? To me, it's what you're made of, and then how you deal with situations, and how I've seen him deal with situations is it backs up everything that would get you knocked on your fucking ass in UFC instead of throwing a front face lock on somebody and putting 265 pounds on the back of their neck, which is one of my first fucking moves, you know? So there's a difference in perception, and I think of what it is and what you're made of as a man. If you don't have that at the base level, you're never going to fucking I mean, he's been 10 times more successful, 1,000 times more successful than me. But at the end of the day, you stack up chips to chips of who's got the real fucking deal. I'll put myself over then because nobody else will.
Dude, and you know what Joe Rogan even said? His fighting style was like he had no skill.
His fighting style was, I think it was Free Comic Book Wednesday style. I think that was what the fighting style was.
But dude, I've got a background in MMA and boxing and stuff like that. And to be honest, if you have no prior experience, even if you train 2-a-days for 6 days a week, in 2 years, you're still not going to be ready to fight at that top level.
End of the day, dude, the bottom line is he's bitch made.
I know, man. I was a fan, but now, as per normal, you've rocked my world once again, brother.
I'm just telling you the interactions I've seen with him. Like I said, he's paid for my dinners, and maybe I owe him $40 for dinners in the past so I can have my integrity back. But what he does in versus what he says and how he acts, I got to put him over. I got to shit on him, but put him over for the Brody Lee type stuff. A lot of his actions speak louder than his words. So maybe he shouldn't speak his words. Maybe I shouldn't either run my fucking mouth too. We can all take that in 2021, but it's gotten me this far. So I'll probably keep doing it. And I have no fear of CM Punk reprisal saying or physically doing anything to me. So there's no fear there.
He might come and try a spinning back fist.
He can come do it. I'll whip his ass on my front lawn and make him eat the dog shit off there. I don't give a fuck. Have the wives out there Instagram live and that shit just for the fucking views, bro.
Oh man, I'll film it for you, bro. Fuck, just for the lols.
You got to be in his corner. You're his #1 fan. That's gonna be a bad day for you.
Dude, I'm starting to question that now, man. Like I'm starting to question many people, to be honest, bro. But look, let's get into this Aussie slang game, man. So, first word we're gonna say is beauty. Oh,
beauty.
Yeah, that's a beauty.
That's a beauty right there. Is that for an ugly girl? For like Shayna Baszler would walk by and be like, "Oh, that's a beauty." Is it a backwards one? Or?
No, like if it's more like if someone gets a new car and go, "Oh, look at that beauty! Yeah, she looks all right."
Oh yeah, well she's a hot ass walking around. Then you're just
I mean you can say it's like that looks pretty good.
Yeah, she's got nice gimmicks on her.
Yeah, you could say that. Yeah,
gimmicks on her. All right, or if they're out there stunting, well, I'll trade you for wrestling. So. With a bunch of wrestlers, if a hot chick walks by, somebody just needs to go gimmicks, or like she's working the gimmick, ain't she? Or look at this gimmick coming.
All right, so next one is dead set. Are you fucking dead set?
Are you serious? Are you fucking serious with that bullshit? Are you fucking kidding me right now?
Yeah, it means like, are you true? Like, are you being true?
I like that dead set. That shit is dead. Like I could see that becoming a hip hop thing where somebody says something like, you know, like fucking Biggie is the greatest rapper of all time. And someone goes, dead set, B. Dead set.
Yeah, man. You guys, maybe you can get that going over there, man.
I will, man. I like dead set. I fucking really do.
All right. How about this one? Devo.
Devo.
I was Devo after I watched Monday Night Raw.
Oh, well, that's an easy one after that. I'm Devo every Monday night. We are devastated. We're devastated in this bitch after having to sit through all these changes week after week after week, man. But Devo, yeah, am I right on that one?
Devastated, you're right.
All right.
All right. So this one we're gonna do, it's gonna be there's gonna be a few in this one.
Mm-hmm.
There's gonna be Servo, Durries, Bottle-O. Actually, no, all right. First of all, we'll start these. We'll do two. Hey, Bin, go to the Servo and grab me a packet of Durries. There's two, Durries and Servo.
Okay. All right. Well, until you've used it in the sense, because Servo to me is a mechanical thing from my 3D printers that aren't working right now. So I've got a lot of Servo stuff to fix here. But Servo, I'm going to go with like a gas station, right? Like a convenience store.
Yep.
And then pick up a packet of Durries. It's either got to be rubbers. You got to get a packet of condoms or a packet of cigarettes. I'm going to say
cigarettes.
Okay. All right. Because you don't use condoms. Piers Austin, he goes bareback all the time, ladies.
Hey, bro, I've got two kids and my wife's actually pregnant with our third right now, bro. So
and fellas, he goes bareback too. You don't need more kids.
Yeah, no more kids. All right. So what about these two for you?
All right.
Hey, can you go past the Bottle-O and pick up a slab?
Can I go past the, what was it?
Bottle-O.
Bottle-O?
Bottle-O, yeah.
And pick up a slab. Hey, can you go past the Bottle-O and pick up a slab? To me, that sounds like a barbecue place and you want ribs.
No, go past the Bottle-O, which is like a liquor store, and pick up a slab of beer.
Oh, I've never heard of a slab of beer before. Yeah. Is that like a case or a rack?
That's that's like a case of beer, like a 24-pack of beer.
I like that slab too. So slab, what was the other one?
Dead set
and slab. I'm using both of those.
All right. So I got
is that like a beer store? Is that you guys have specific
like a liquor store?
Okay.
Like we've got drive-in Bottle-Os like around the corner from my house. So it's like, yeah, I don't even have to get out of the car to get my beer, which is really fucking lazy. I can't walk the 2 feet, bro. All right. So I got another one for you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit, Dad's outside and he's in his fucking budgie smuggler again.
Nah, that wasn't even words. You're just making up sounds.
Budgie smuggler.
He's a budgie smuggler. Wow.
Budgie smuggler. My dad's outside again.
Yeah.
And he's wearing his budgie smuggler.
Oh, the old man's out there in a fucking Speedo. He's got the under the butt nut hut and he's fucking showing off on the fucking front lawn with his big hammer out there mowing the lawn, pulling weeds.
Yeah, man, that's it. He's got his Speedo one out the back. He's got his budgie smuggling out there. Yeah. So
he's trying to get in some illegal fruit into the country, smuggle some cantaloupes in.
Yep. All right, so this will be the last one.
Okay.
I've got more. I can keep going if you want. I'm easy. Okay. Fucking hell. My wife's upstairs and she is cutting sick.
She's cutting
sick.
So she's cutting sick. Is she puking? Is that what cutting sick means?
No, cutting sick means like she's going off a trolley, like she's losing her shit.
Oh, she's cutting. So she's just on her gimmick, the 28-day gimmick, and it's time she's getting color, and you just can't.
Yeah, bro, she's getting color and trying to pull high spots and shit, and I just I'm piecing out. But you know what? I'll get another one for you. Just to go. My uncle Daryl is a real bogan.
Oh yeah. So just kind of a dumbass, right? Is that whatever?
No, a bogan's more like an Australian redneck. So
yeah.
A bogan would probably sound like this. Yeah, here you go. I'm been nice to fucking meet you, mate. You on a fucking schooner or what? Baby, hey, mate, you want me to pack you up a bong?
Wow,
Mate,
that sounds a lot like Brent Logan.
Yeah, like a bogan is like, yeah, mate, just fucking drink some fucking piss and go hard.
Let me see here if I can find this dumb son of a bitch real quick. Oh, he sent me one voicemail when he was wasted out of his fucking mind. One of my favorites. I gotta find him. Let me scroll up.
Whenever I drink, I become the ultimate bogan.
Hey Ben, yeah, I'm not as drunk as I was last time I sent you this message, but no, yeah, my missus and I, yeah, it's a definite breakup. But
that's the one with him and his old lady breaking up. Can't imagine when he probably called her drunk as a bogan and said some crazy shit too, bro. Dude, I gotta say, man, I enjoy all that shit. We have a good time busting Brent Logan's balls. We say that he's an Australian AI, and here we go.
You been at a funeral? Just forget whatever I fucking said, my boy. I'm sorry, Ben. I'm sorry.
I was at a funeral.
That poor dude's off his fucking dial.
Yeah.
My boy. Yeah, Ben, it's like, fuck, told me, like 4 a.m. in Australia, and
fuck.
Yeah, my boy Ben, I got a big catch up with the fucking podcast since I left over Christmas, mate. Ben,
did he work for you?
I love you, my boy. You've been at a
Does he work for you, or is he just a fan?
Oh, he's a fan. Brent Logan. He's his band broke up, but he was in a metal band down there. They rock the Conspiracy Horseman shirts. You guys give Brent Logan a follow. What was the thing? The Mischief. I can't remember off the top of my head, but their band rocks, man. And that's what bands do. They break up. I'm sure he'll kick out and find a new project. He'll probably become a emo pussy and cut his hair and start singing all falsetto and shit. But it was that Australian contingent. It shocks me, man, because I really have. This is one of the things I've always wanted to work down there. There's a guy down there, Torrin Zimmerich. And he's a promoter who would bring guys down. He brought down Ali and Khalil, Serena had gone, Nick Dinsmore, who I have tremendous respect for. And he would bring them down. And I always wanted to come work Australia. But now with Hamin Media Group, man, we have an awesome following in Australia of people like that. And Brent Logan's been a big supporter, especially since the New World Order has been testing out all of these taking civil liberties from you guys to knock on your door. Oh, mate, we see you've got something angry on Facebook. Would you like to come down to the fucking Polywog police station and fucking talk about it, mate? And maybe you can take down that post talking about all the corruption that's going on in our fucking parliament. Why would you do that, mate? Because you're a fucking Stasi police officer who's knocking on my door about Facebook and proving the exact point of a Nazi state that we're living in. Maybe that's why I don't want to go to your fucking police station and talk about my Facebook post, you double daft cunt. So, there's fucking, there's plenty of people who've had enough down where you are. And you guys have that, the sweetness of down under and all the magic that everybody thinks you are, of being half leprechaun fucking thieves that were sent there, or whatever it was when they kicked you out of England and you started a whole island of leprechaun thieves or whatever the fuck. And but it seems like you're all pretty damn nice people who enjoy being half in the bag all the time, a good set of gimmicks on a beauty, and walking around having a good smoke and enjoying the ocean and some seafood. And I'm all about those things. So
yeah, bro, we're so chill, and because I got friends that live in America and around the world, and my friends that are in America cannot believe that I don't I don't have a gun. They're like, but what do you use to protect yourself? I'm like, but I got nothing to protect myself from. I don't need to protect myself from anything. There's no one.
I disagree. Like, not having a gun for protection, it's for when those cops show up and think they can knock on your door to get you to go to the police station to change your Facebook post. If you had 15 rifles on the wall behind you and go, nah, I ain't going nowhere, bro, with you, and I ain't changing nothing for you, they wouldn't ever dream of showing up on your door to knock and because it proves everything. They're watching, and that they're turning your neighbors against each other to stooge each other off. Dude, that's straight out of George Orwell 1984, where Mrs. Parsons' kids, and he's paranoid that the kids are going to fucking call the authorities and just call him a spy, and they'll come take you away out of your house. We're very close to that, and it's happening right now. I watched Canadian police break up a gathering of 6 people last night on a live stream, bro. It's right out of 1984. And even in 1984, he goes, people were scared of their own children because this person and this person were unpersoned because of their kids stooging them off. And then their kids go into foster help and become a property of the state, which is all part of the big New World Order agenda, man, to break up the nuclear family. So when you say you don't have guns or what have you, buy a 3D printer.
But it's weird though, dude. Like in our country,
what do you want, bro? You know,
it's weird though. Like our country, and I think people of like my generation, because I can remember it was like 96.
Yeah, you had one mass shooting, and they fucking went no. And who's to say that mass shooting wasn't a false flag attack just to enact that gun thing, because the New World Order wants to start at one place and hope it trickles out. Oh, they adopted it there, and we got it over there. Well, then we can just use the pressure of guilt. Well, how come Australia doesn't do that? Well, Canada, you're just as nice as Australia. Canada, you get rid of your guns. Canada, the hunting nation, got rid of their guns. Okay, well, we might as well start doing it because it's Canada's like, see how the fucking dominoes fall and how they want it to do that?
Yeah.
You got fucking TikTok, never the Glock, just some nuts in a cock. They don't ever fucking try and step to you. They can talk all the shit they want, but when they got to knock on the door and they hear the conversation changes beforehand, don't it?
Oh, look, 100%. But in Australia, you can have guns, but you have a gun license. But to have a gun license,
says fucking who?
Our government, obviously.
And who the fuck are they?
If I tell you, I can tell you a funny story about our Prime Minister, right? And this is a little bit off topic, but I live in a suburb called Engadine.
Mm-hmm.
In 1995, when our Prime Minister was at a football trip, he stopped past Engadine McDonald's and he shit himself at Engadine McDonald's.
Wonderful.
And that is like at this McDonald's around the corner from my house, there is like a cartoon picture of him on one side of this wall and another one on the other. One says 1995, what a shit year. And it's got, and the other one's got ScoMo's got the shits.
And that's the guy who gets to tell you what you can and can't have. Guy who shits his pants at McDonald's. He's the line in the sand.
He's the fucking Prime Minister of Australia, dude. And like, not even that. It's like when the whole COVID shit happened, right? Because he lives in the same area that I do. Mm-hmm. Is like, he was like, oh, when COVID's hot, no, your kids should still go to school. But this is before they didn't know anything. And they're like, okay, that's great, ScoMo. Thanks for letting everybody know that. How come you pulled your kids out of school then?
It's the double standard, bro. It's the complete double standard of do as I say, not as I do. Whether it's Nancy Pelosi being in the hair salon while all hair salons are shut down in the nation at that time. And, well, I didn't know. Yeah, okay, you didn't know. Or you got a double freezer full of $2,000 worth of ice cream while people are waiting on a $600 check just to go buy ramen noodles. Like, it's this level of when you see Storm the Castle like you did the other day, they were taking us down this road and they knew what the end game was. And they keep pushing and needling and telling you what you can't have, and you can't be on Twitch, and you can't say these words. I can say any words I want because they're just words. Until I put my hands on you, then then you have no right to fucking say or claim anything.
Dude, yeah, what was the deal with Twitch, man? Because I saw you, like, I saw that you guys got blocked or some shit.
Yeah, lost both of our channels, Conspiracy Horseman and Hamin Media Group. We've been trying to go at it with Twitch support and the higher ups. So I have to pull my final card, as I know John Carnage, the guy who started Twitch. So these queer deer that they hired, if you have seen their mod, who identifies as a gay deer. That's what the mod, like one of the things that they put out at Twitch now. This is what they're trying to push. So, and I'm a big hunter, so I believe in equal rights. So I'll shoot a gay deer or a straight deer, whatever you identify as. And you know, I'm streaming the Brody Lee Memorial, a friend of mine, and as many other people are as well. And my channel gets pulled, Conspiracy Horseman. Then we go to the backup. They search the IP address after everybody at Hamin Media Group starts wailing on Twitch support. Let me search Hamin Media Group. They see that. They pull that channel too. And then they said, if my face even appears on another channel's Twitch, they can pull that. You're talking about digital unpersoning, 1984 level stuff. Now, I don't even want to play the game of like, well, other people were streaming it. A, I'm in the industry. B, Brody's my friend. C, I'm on the front page of Twitch on Vince Russo's channel. Why? Because they wanted to expand wrestling and have real wrestling people as pundits on there. But I guess one hand doesn't wash the other, because Queer Deer didn't get the memo on that one. It was just the fact of like, okay, you want wrestling, you want me on your front page of sports, but then on my channel, when I'm actually in wrestling talking about the punditry and it's a memorial for my friend, strike them down and don't get in indefinite suspension for the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. Are you shitting me? These shit wrestling shows should be happy anybody's even watching and helping to promote their product with the content they're laying out there. So everybody, I mean, and they're making up the rules as they go along. That's the biggest thing of these double standards and when they want to play it a certain way. Well, the pendulum has swung back, and there's men like me who stand on the front lines and go, you might win for these 2 weeks, but guess what? When I come back on, 2 people will have lost their job. The social justice bullshit they're trying to play will be quelled a little bit more, and we will be even more unfuckwithable. And in the eyes of our viewers, it's heels over strong all day long, infidels.
And you know what? That's the thing. Like, all your followers on Twitch will soon just go and find you on other channels, like go to YouTube and stuff like that.
YouTube, Ben Hamin, and YouTube Hamin Media Group, and they locked that down after the Conspiracy Horseman the other night with, this may contain sensitive material. Are you sure you want to go? Yes. Are you sure you want to watch this? Yes. So without them even, they're already doing it. So we're on the radar. And what are they going to do? I don't expect YouTube to do anything different. YouTube will clip us probably too. And then I'll be forced as a boss to buy the server space and start the whole Hamin network unto itself and have nobody over me. You know what I mean? Because if you play in these welfare ghettos of Facebook, Twitch, and whatnot, sure, we can make our money, but you're still giving them power to overlord over the top of you. And all I can do is expose them as censorship propagandists when they claim to be a free space for creators, right? Once money gets involved, everything's fucked up. So as a pirate, as a cowboy on this digital platform, oh, shout out to you, honey. I'm always looking for new wives.
That's Patsy.
Yeah, well, you know, that, you know, we're always going to be on the forefront of that. And these 70-year-olds who think they can come in behind us and, oh, they're making money and we can say what we make them say what they want to now. No, we're just going to pivot and turn into the new frontier, because that's what we do. And you're too old and fucking stupid and greedy to get there first. We set it all up, reap a little bit. You come in, fuck it all up for everybody with your rules, and then ban the originators, and we're off to the next one. That's what they'll never be. They can never be us like that.
100%.
That's us and them.
100%, man. And you know, I think that, you know, Twitch, by just taking you guys down, is it's a shit go. Just you know, what's the whole free speech thing for America, isn't it? Doesn't that give you the right?
It's a lie. America's a lie, bro. It has been since 2001. And it has been since JFK, to be honest with you. Since JFK went back into the left, America has been under a complete lie and a complete psyop.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. But guys, look, it is time for us to wrap up. Ben, thank you so much for coming on, man. I could feel like I could keep talking to you for a couple more hours, man. We definitely have to get you on for a part 2 sometime. Always
ready to roll with you, bro. You know, when an hour and 20 minutes goes by like that, it's good conversation. Shout out to everybody down under who's a diehard wrestling fan, man, and helping to keep our business alive. Hopefully, maybe one day if we get back to biz, I can come down there and give you, I don't know what your money's worth, but I'll give you all morons a $5 face slap. You can take your banana hammocks or whatever it is, whatever you're smuggling in your Speedos out there. Bring your wives. I'm always looking for a new suicide bomber, so I'll send you off on a mission, and don't worry, they'll be well taken care of by hacker Hamin infidels. YOLO.
On that note, guys, we'll catch you next time. Tune in for my next episode in a couple of days. I'm sitting down with PCO, the man who is not human. So make sure you tune in for that one, guys. Make sure you follow Bin Hamin. Go check out the Conspiracy Horseman, the Friday Locker Room, and every other show over at Hamin Media Group. You will not be disappointed. Ben, again, brother, thank you so much.
That's great, Piers. You have a good one, brother. Hopefully I'm not on Wrestling with Tragedy anytime soon as a case study.
Absolutely not, man. But we'll catch you next time, guys.